He has to go to his fridge. Hi, everybody.
That's not true. You could never.
We are live on YouTube.com.
We are Trishula TTV's sleep paralysis demons, and welcome to another episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh podcast.
Welcome. Podcast training arc. All right, I'm gonna go pee.
Sounds
Wait
good.
till after I go live to say this.
Hey, Sonny's chat. I'm about to get up from my chair and then go pee in the toilet behind me.
It's okay. I don't have any chatters.
Oh, hey chat. I have a funny trick now. Actually, check this out. Bye bye. See you later.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Most calm. Whoever called any of us calm? There's one person here that's calm, and they might not even be in the call.
I got a standing desk now, so I can.
It's very funny because
up and down as I please.
when you said I have a standing desk now, on my Discord call, you were standing. On the stream, you were still sitting, and you just were not on the screen.
You know, I'm simply if the bit has died, then I'm just massive L.
Skyhawk getting mad air.
True. So tonight, we'll be covering obviously the MCS Invitational. Trish won a clean $1,000, getting second place. If you haven't watched those matches already, for some reason you should, because top four is like
clean what? $1,000?
Yeah, for second place for the MCS Invitational. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
Trish.
The winner got...
I was thinking
Trish,
Josh,
yes.
And I was like, Josh.
No, not
get
Josh. No, that's
that.
not. No. Konami's not that based. We don't get cash prizing. But no, that if you haven't watched Trish's top four match, you should go back and watch it because it's just like an absolute masterclass. And then game one of finals is very, very funny.
To the
game one of finals.
To the chatter, they just asked if Fluffle Runic was a real deck. Not yet. It's not. Give it a day or two.
There were people who messed with it.
Remind them of game one of the finals of the MCS Invitational. Please do not remind them of that.
I was gonna say, I said top four was like an absolute masterclass from you, and then game one was just very sad, but also very funny. You both opened like absolute custom hands. It's just like
he top decked that circular.
The circular off the top was it's so bad because you're like,
it cost me $1,500.
I know. I was like, can we blame the Master Duel devs? Can we sue them?
I've been asked.
I'm suing Konami. They gave that man a circular and a bell, and that cost me $1,500. Actually, though, I saw earlier today that I kind of misplayed game 3, and it's like the most obscure misplay. So. In the finals, I go like
because this is actual podcast content.
Oh, I guess okay, yeah.
I don't think it's actual podcast content. But basically, the bottom line is I should have instead of searching right of Maramiser, I should have normal summoned Water Bitch, attacked his guy, and passed because when I checked the replay, he drew 2 imperms.
Oh, so he didn't have any plays.
He couldn't have killed me. So I would have gotten 1 extra draw.
There's no way to know that.
Would you believe me if I thought about it?
I would believe you because it's one of those things where it's like you play to your outs, right? And if there's the 1% chance that your opponent drew 3 cards and none of them are anything, then you play so that you don't get dunked by the maxi that they didn't draw, right? But that's like,
oh no, I was just on tilt at that point because the only card he could have ripped was Foolish, and that's exactly what he ripped. I was like, that's the only card that's good for him to rip there.
I was worried about it. Because they still had the spell negate, but if you had anything else, then you still get
but that's the thing, is I had 2 power spells, so exactly. He can't stop both of them.
He can't stop both of them, so we needed him to hit the last one.
Yeah.
Game two was pretty though. That was a beautiful board. That was the full shebang right there. I love that the set 2 afterwards too. Was just
that was like the 3rd time I'd done that too, where I made like the full board, occupied all my zones, and I was like, set 2.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So Cash can't lock my zones out. I'm using all of them. All right,
oh,
I'm recording on my side, Sonny. If you're ready to roll, we can get slapping.
I don't know if you guys knew
Yeah.
this, but I'm technically recording right now. I'm live.
Baller.
Um,
All Gouda. That's, I mean, anything that's on the Twitch VOD, I just assume is exists forever. So
it does at this point, not only on Twitch
60
VOD, but
days.
also on our YouTube channel, because these live stream recordings are now the actual YouTube live or like it's the actual podcast upload for YouTube now. Is that what it functions as?
Dope.
So,
right. you ready to roll?
yeah, I'm actually making a list for once of all
you
of our
checking it twice?
sponsors so that I don't forget any. I'm glad I am because I realized I forgot one.
I did. Trish called me out for this one last time. I did miss Steelfox Games. I said ETB, and I was like, I can't remember the other store.
Unbelievable.
I got absolutely.
You got
owned.
roasted by the new guy?
And then
Hi.
we talked about Monster Hunter for like 20 minutes.
we
Sounds like
did.
we had a great episode.
That was the
Great podcast episode, by the
Yeah,
way. If you want to hear me talk about Monster Hunter and be very excited about it, go drop some money on the Patreon.
Listen,
Oh, no, that
it's
wasn't
on
Patreon.
It's on Spotify. Yeah.
Wait, that wasn't a
episode.
Patreon episode?
No,
No,
that was a
that
full
was a regular one.
episode.
What?
Yeah, we just did that was a regular one. Yeah.
I thought that was a Patreon episode.
Nope.
Oh
You just rambled.
no, we took care of the Patreon episode because you were busy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You were
I thought that
live.
was the Patreon episode.
No, Patreon posts
Nope.
on Wednesday. So if we're recording on Tuesday or Wednesday night.
As you can all tell, we're extremely organized.
we were organized, and now Trish is here.
Hi.
Okay,
So, all right, are we ready?
I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny. I am your host. I'm here with my co-hosts, Big Bird and Snake Guy. I don't know. I don't have a name this time.
Snake guy.
He's a serpent.
Of all the
We're
things
like-
you could associate
dragon
me
of the
with, you
iceberg, not
choose
serpent.
snakes?
No, my guy is your solid snake. Well, we're
Okay.
giving you the buff.
I was
I'm
I was trying, okay? I tried to get there.
Big Bird. I think is pretty accurate. I am big and I am a bird. It's a 1-to-1
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Exactly. So,
I think Sunny got me confused with my Twitch mods.
no, I got no, it was I was going for Dragon of the Ice Barrier, but I ended up with Sea Serpent of the Ice Barrier, which is Bryonic, not Trishula. So, in my own
Ooh,
ADD
that's
mind,
true.
we got there. All right, so a huge thank you, of course, to all of our sponsors, which I actually wrote out for once. It's Steelfox Games and ETB Games, of course, my locals for their continued support of the podcast, even though Skyhawk manages to forget them when I'm not here. Of course, we also want to thank Gem Accessories as well as Tier Zero Games, Grimoire Accessories, and, of course, Chainlink TCG. As well as we also want to shout out TCG Player and Dragon Shield. So all of those we either have affiliate links or discount codes for down below. I very much recommend Tier Zero Games. It has been honestly our biggest performing one. They mainly pay for stuff on the channel along with our Patreons. And if you don't have Patreon, you can check us out there on the link down below. If you want, you can get an extra episode every single week. Although I will say, if you get if you're ordering stuff to play the Fire King deck, not just the structures but the cards themselves, if you go through the Tier 0 link, then anything over $65 is free shipping international. So
Me when I want to buy the entire Sinful Spoils package.
exactly.
That stuff is very expensive.
It's gotten
Also,
very expensive now.
if you want to go above and beyond, if you want to try something not Sinful Spoil, if you don't want to go above and beyond, you could get the Fire King stuff and also a Dogmatica package.
Mm-hmm.
And Punishment just got a Quarter Century Secret Rare and all that. So if you want to order that stuff, you can do that too.
That's true.
Just a
Man,
thought.
the
Or
Sinful Spoils
Starlight
episode.
Ecclesias. If you want to buy Starlight Ecclesias using our code, you could do that.
Shut up!
So
No.
So expensive. dude.
my microphone is I'm paying the price for for my speaking stupid into the world. My microphone came off
Okay.
the thing. Anyway,
Well,
so thank you to all of our sponsors and all of our patrons. Today's content is, of course, the one and only. We have a winner in our midst. We have a champion of sorts. That's Josh Schmidt, not you, Trish. Why are you waving? So we are going to talk multiple things. Of course, Josh Schmidt just won YCS Bologna, Italy, with some weird runic dragon thing. And of course, Mike, Trish, you, the one and only, you did very well this weekend in the MCS. Was it an invitational or? How does that
Yeah,
work?
it was an invitational.
So
I was
how
the
did you get
first
your invite?
loser.
You were
First loser.
By getting top 16 in like an actual MCS.
yeah.
Sweet.
So I want to. You posted a video about this, so go to Trish's YouTube and watch his video. But when we were recording on Thursday for the episode, I brought up Ringo Worm as like a thing that people were experimenting with, and you were like, "Yeah, I mean, people have played it. I mean, like it's not like that crazy." And then I see you pull up with the 60 card list playing Ringo, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's got the sauce. What
funny
inspired
story.
the pile deck? What?
Funny story. We were talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's not that good." And then I hung up with you, and I remembered. Wait a second.
It is
I
good.
built. It was good when Chaos Ruler was legal, but then they banned it in the TCG. And I was like, didn't I like theory craft this deck a year ago? I go back through my YouTube and it's like, yeah, I posted a video about this a year
This
ago.
was me.
And I messaged Tempest at like 3 a.m. I was like, hey, should I play the Apple deck? And we pass back and forth a few deck lists to each other because we're just saying they're theorying, and we start like testing a little bit, and then we get busy, and it's like, should I queue with it? I haven't really played it enough. I don't know if it's good. And we literally just said, you know what? We're just gonna play with it.
We ball.
Yeah, literally we ball, and we're teaming together for the DC Cup Stage 2, which, if you don't know, is how you can qualify for the World Championship through Master Duel. And Tempest already has accumulated some championship points. I think we're like 4th in the global leaderboard right now. So we were like, if this deck is actually good, like, do we queue this for DC Cup? And it's like, okay, we'll test it in MCS. And then I got 2nd place, and I was like, okay, it might be worth playing for DC Cup now.
It might be pretty good too. And the field was like kind of wild too, because that field had like a lot of dimension shifter. There were a lot of people playing like cash again, at least in Swiss, although it didn't really convert to top cut. So it seemed to weave its way pretty well, despite all of the like anti-meta stuff happening in the Invitational.
Yeah, so that was actually like why I played the list that I did, is that like it played like the adventure cards, and we were trying to figure out like, how do we beat all the like stuff that like people are playing for us. And it's like, well, the adventure cards kind of just do that. Like, you get shifted, okay, Omni Negate, here you go, pass. Droll, Omni Negate, pass. You get there can only be one Draco back, bounce. And I was like, oh, okay, like we'll try it, and it was good. It was good.
And 60, you get to hide some of the bricks. It turns Foolish Burial into whatever you want in your deck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, $1,000 is pretty sick. Like I said earlier on stream, go watch if you want a super good showcase of Trish's Dragon Link gameplay. The top 4 match is incredible, and then the finals is also funny. But Prage for our good friend after game 1, because that was the Ghost Bell was the worst part about that, I think. It's just
the worst part was checking the replay and seeing that he top decked Circular, and I was like, oh.
So, do you think that there's any changes that you would make to the list? Because you said you didn't go into it with like a bunch of testing and stuff like that. Like, do you think that there's a little optimizations here and there that are worth making and something like that?
Yeah, Tempest and I have already changed a few stuff, but it's not stuff I want to talk about until after DC Cup, because that is our Worlds ticket.
So fair, but you're saying that there are changes worth making.
We're keeping.
Yeah, there is some stuff that we're changing, but I think the list that I queued with is still really, really good.
Yeah.
I like none of the changes are really like major. There's just like little stuff here and there.
My lips are sealed, and this is the key.
Yeah. Do you think that that's overall that the Ringo Worm list is solid enough to play at not just so like an invitational, if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of a smaller event, right, where you have just a few players, and a lot of times people in an event like that will try to play something with a much higher ceiling, because you don't need to go as many rounds deep. Whereas something where maybe you're grinding on a ladder or something like that, maybe something that's not as over the top, less over the top but more consistency. You know what I mean?
You can build the top and you can build to win.
Well,
yeah,
That's
exactly.
That's what
yeah,
that.
I guess that's true. I guess what I think of when I think of this is when you think about, I remember hearing somebody talk about it. I don't know if it was Hoban or Fraser Smith or Joe Girlando. Somebody would talk about when they used to have the YCSs that had draft in Top Cut. The players would play very different decks that would go more over the top, that were lower consistency decks, because they felt like they didn't need to go 18 rounds with the deck. They only needed to go 10 or whatever, whatever the numbers are. Because
You roll the dice a little bit on that, though.
Right.
Like if you look at, so this is a decent transition into talking about the YCS, because Tier is a deck that kind of does exactly that right now. It's so high roll that you like a good Tier player will top with it, but I feel like it's very difficult to go the distance because like there are going to be games where you mill 10 cards and none of them do anything, and
Yeah.
you get like. So it's and you're going to win a lot of games that you might otherwise not because you hit everything. So it's tough to do that balance. It depends on if you feel like you have to gamble. Like in a battle pack environment, maybe the power is so low that you just try to go all the way up because you can set cards for a couple turns for a while. But in the modern game, I think it's harder to have that mentality.
Yeah, I actually remember that conversation being kind of opposite of what you were saying, Sonny, where instead of building like decks that were like really powerful that they needed to like do well in like Top Cut, they would build decks that were just kind of like really average, that they were like, yeah, I'm pretty confident I can like go X2 in like 11 rounds with. And because like once you make it to Top Cut back then, you just throw your deck out. Like your deck just
Right.
doesn't matter anymore. So they would just play to top rather than to win. Whereas like so the cool thing with like the invitationals, right? Like the MCS invitationals, everybody who's playing in that tournament is good because they've all like cleared a qualifying stage, which was like
Sure.
not an easy qualifying stage. So when you're playing into those types of tournaments, you're going to play nothing but meta. You're not really going to play anything too weird. And you're going to play people who know what they're doing with those meta decks. So I think in those kind of scenarios, it's better to bring decks that like maybe have some type of a quirk to it that people aren't like really prepared for. Like, for example, the branded player I played in top 8, TTK, who is another very well-decorated MCS player, he played Branded Despia with one of the branded traps that like nobody ever plays. It's like if you control a branded monster, like a fusion that mentions Albaz, negate all cards on the field. It didn't catch me by too much surprise because I've seen a few people on Master Duel Ladder play that, but like it was one of those cards where it's like that could have been a huge blowout, and I could definitely see it stealing him wins. Because nobody expects cards like that. And that was kind of the idea with like the Adventure and Apple stuff when me and Tempest were talking, is like no one's going to have prep for like a Dragon Link player slamming Rite of Aramisar as the 4th card they play in their turn. So I can play out normally, like I can play out my hand normally. They're going to interact with me however they want.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to activate Rite of Aramisar, and Aramisar is just a free Baron from your hand. So it's like, so many people are like, oh my God, like why is that there?
It's crazy that Black Metal Dragon in any of the rockets works so well for that. Like Black Metal Dragon being like is maybe one of the most crazy value, like aside from like a Prank Kids monster for the Adventure engine. Plus, if it's a rocket, you just normal rocket, Striker Dragon, Boot Sector, add it back, and then you special summon your Tracer back, so then you're not under the restriction for Rite of Aramisar anymore. Like it slots in so nicely. That's good.
Yeah. That was exactly the theory. Yeah, that was exactly the theory. The cool thing with the Apple Dragon is like You know, like the first thought with Apple Dragon is like, oh, you know, non-effect monster, it summons itself. I get it. But like that wasn't really the thought with it. The thought was just that you can go Chaos Ruler and mill it, and then you've already synchro summoned because you summoned the Chaos Ruler and you milled it. So now you just have Dispatter for free. So
Yep.
it just lets you summon Chaos Ruler for free all the time.
So I do want to remind everybody to keep an eye out for the Master Duel DC Cup. Is that what it is?
Yeah, stage 1 is going on right qualifying stage.
Okay, so stage 1 is happening right now. When does that end?
So stage 1 ends at the same time as the whole DC Cup, but you don't want to be qualifying for stage 2 while stage 2 is going on, because stage 2 it's like a ladder race where you're gaining elo every time you win a game.
Sure.
And whoever gets like the most points overall at the top of the 72-hour period gets to go to Worlds, and like top 100 get like points towards going to Worlds. So you really want to make sure that like the minute that DC Cup opens, that you are playing stage 2 and grinding for the next 72 hours straight.
Yeah.
Right.
The upside to this over how it has been before is that you have 3 people on a team who can play, so
Yep.
like there might be time to take breaks. But the downside is that if you have 3 people that are going nonstop, it could end up being a lot of points. So it's a little tricky. Like I had I'm not gonna say who, just because I don't want to like open invitation. There are some people who are looking for one. Message me, be like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" I just looked at it. I was like, "No, I'm not doing this." So I wish you the best of luck on the World's Grind. Hopefully, we'll see you on stage.
I haven't
but
gotten a single message. No worries. Here.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I was looking at it. I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not booking a day off." But
yeah,
I wish you the best of luck on the grind. I'm sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we should probably talk about the YCS now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the
that
next
is
thing.
a wonderful time for me to do the transition I was about to do. So, with that said, be sure to check out Trish's streams as he grinds the Master Duelist Cup. And with that, let's talk about the
next
other
weekend. By the way,
it's what?
Stage 2 starts next weekend. We didn't mention when it starts.
Okay, so it starts what? Probably December 15th.
14th or 15th. Yeah,
14th
it might
or
start
15th.
on Thursday.
If it starts on Friday,
somewhere in
it's the
there, because
15th.
it's
December
weird. But
14th at
midnight, I think.
Yeah, sometime.
So it's like the evening of Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it's sometime before midnight, I think. Depending on your time zone.
Twitch.tv/TrishlaTV for all of your Duelist Cup needs. So, with that, let's go ahead and talk about the next thing, which is YCS Bologna. So, YCS Bologna, Italy took place this past weekend, December 9th and 10th. And, of course, we have the results from the tournament. We have 2,418 duelists. We do want to give a huge congratulations to Josh Schmidt, who won the tournament with Runic Bestial. Yep, I said it, Runic Bestial. That is wild to me. That makes no sense at all. But the weirder thing to
the deck
me
is playing
the
some
sheer amount of,
nasty cards.
yeah.
Some sick stuff in here.
The weirder part to me is the sheer amount of labyrinth in Top Cut. Like there's a lot of labyrinth here. So we're definitely going to get into
I have the
that.
answer to your question, Sonny.
You have the answer to my question on how much
Yeah.
how we got so much labyrinth here?
Yes. I do have the answer to your question. It's one of these. This format is so cool, just because they're so. I think as like a competitive player trying to prepare for it, it sucks. But as somebody who like is looking at the whole picture, is really sick. So Labyrinth, for like, I think for the last chunk of time, people have considered to be kind of bad, or at least like you can top an event with it, but it's
Sure.
not like maybe even in like the top like 6 decks or so, it maybe fell off to 7 or 8. I think part of the reason that it's coming back is because a lot of lists are on a lot of hand traps. A lot of people are not playing Ghost Bell. There was a little bit of it coming back this event, but there's not a lot. And when your opponent is playing like Imperm, Valor, Nibiru, and I mean everybody's playing. A lot of people are playing Ash right now, and that hurts Lab obviously. But when people are in like a wide hand trap format, and you have to be good against a lot of matchups, Labyrinth is like, Okay, yeah. So your hand traps aren't really going to do anything. What you're going to Valor my Ariana? Cool. Set 3. I got furniture on furniture on furniture,
And this is
and a
why
lot of
I
back
miss Red
removal
Reboot.
is in the side deck. No, 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 no. We can't do this.
Please bring it back. Bring
Please.
back reboot.
Reboot to 3.
Um,
No
but
more trap
there's
decks, please, please, please.
Never again.
yeah.
Get rid
So
of them all.
I sent top 64 into the chat if you want to look at it. So
Yeah.
top 64 most represented. Diabellstar Rescue Ace
Well, so
puts
far
itself
from
back
what we
on
know,
top
there's a
after.
lot of decks missing.
Oh, there
no, this
was a
is-
Dragon Link that topped. Let's go.
I
Yeah,
sent
it won
you.
the
One
event.
I sent you.
No, that was Bestial Runic.
No, that was Bestial Runic.
Okay, so
Yeah,
enlighten me
there was
then.
one Bestial Dragon Link that also won, or that also
Yep.
topped.
Yep.
So, what is exactly the game plan and the goal with
Okay.
Bestial Runic?
So,
Synchro Summon.
it is Synchro Summon. Yes, correct. That is it exactly. But it's actually it plays like it's a controlled deck, really. The Bestials are obviously good in the matchups that the Bestials are in, but really they're just a big bodies to generate value from.
Yep.
Like, the whole goal of the list is Lubellian place regained. Summon a bunch of Bestials to make synchro plays into Baron Chaos Angel or set up Baron SP with the runic spells to generate advantage and to control the game as well. The other piece, there's a small branded engine in this deck. I don't know if you could really call it a branded engine. So you're playing
Like a Quem engine.
yeah, so you're playing 3 Quem, 1 Cartesia, and then 1 the Bestial Aluber. Because it's a tuner Bestial that you can summon back off of Regained, I think is
Got
the
it.
reason.
So-
So it has some other cool things that Josh is playing in the deck. Duality, which has not really found a home. Except
Okay,
Runic, I think people
so-
were saying was the best.
As an old person,
Um,
you said he's playing Duality, and my first thought is, what? He's playing Pot of Duality?
No, so
Okay.
Duality, this is the quick play spell.
Yeah.
And I hope you bought your copies because they're going to be expensive now. But there's a ton of like really sick targets for it. So one of the funniest ones, there's a level 2 tuner non-effect fusion. I think it's Aleraphon
Yeah.
that you can use to summon off of
Do you know
off
if
of
you
your
played Ready
Yugen.
Fusion?
No, he didn't play Ready Fusion. I think it was just
Okay.
Duality. I don't think the list is
That-
public yet, but I didn't see Ready
For people
Fusion.
who don't know the name of the card, you'll probably still know the card. It is the like one Ready Fusion target that anybody has like played.
That are you telling me that we're not playing the best card of 2017, Sea Monster easiest off of Ready Fusion?
You know what? I forgot about that card. That card is also the other good Ready Fusion target. That card is so good.
We got a couple shout outs to I don't know, shout outs to Marvelous, I guess. But the reason that the other cards that you can flex into off of Duality, it actually won him top 4, I think it was. He is playing the Fabled Unicorn as a card to summon off of Gary, because Runic is a deck that could control its hand size very easily. So what he did with it, and Fabled Unicorn, if you don't know, it's level 4 synchro. Negate the activation of any of your opponent's card effects if your hand size is the same. So if they activate another card, you just chain a runic spell, then your hand size is the same, and it will negate anything that is resolving. So it's like he basically put the lab. I think it was Juhu actually. Put him on 0 cards in hand, and then went Fabled Unicorn, so that no matter what Juhu drew, it's getting negated because Josh had no cards in hand. So it was really sick. There's a couple of other cool targets for it, but just a really sick, absolutely wild teched out list. And he even talked about on stream, like, I just brought this for fun. It's such a wide format. I didn't want to solve it, so I just brought something that I liked. And he just walked into a YCS win with. So silly.
Well,
Top
it's a
8
good thing
was
then that some
stacked,
people are
too.
simply better. I had a chatter ask a great question.
Okay, I'm listening.
Who is on the Mount Rushmore of Yu-Gi-Oh? And at this point, is Josh Schmidt
I
there?
don't know.
I think Josh Schmidt has been there for years.
I think he's been there for a while. I think the question is,
Yeah.
I think the bigger question is if he's the GOAT or not. That's I guess the debate.
He's the world champion too, right?
He is a world champion.
4 YCS wins, world champ.
I think this is his 5th YCS win.
That was
No, I
4.
think it's his 4th.
Oh, didn't he get another one this year though?
No,
Uh,
I think he made finals.
yeah, he's made
Oh,
finals a
finals.
lot too. Like,
Oh, okay.
not counting wins, he's made finals quite a few times too.
Yeah, I think
but
the
I mean,
debate.
for me, like when I think of people that are on the Mount Rushmore, I guess Schmidt is definitely up there, but my first thought is Jesse Cotton, Patrick Hoban, Billy Brake. I even think Adam Korn, you know.
I think both Jesse and Josh have surpassed I think almost anybody else's achievements in the game at this point.
Really?
Like,
You think so?
Just about, yeah.
Maybe I'm a zoomer. I wasn't around for the heyday of Jeff
I mean,
Jones and Billy Brake.
I
mean,
think
Jeff Jones also.
Yeah, Jeff Hoban and Billy all like deserve their spot because what they did for the game is they kind of like Hoban especially brought us into the modern era with theory because like if you played 10 years ago,
Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh players were not the fiends that they are today.
Correct.
Like
Yeah, no, Hoban
like,
literally
look at some deck lists from back then and you will understand immediately.
Hoban literally he basically built the entire theory of Yu-Gi-Oh from the ground up. Like,
I mean, if
modern
you think about,
Yu-Gi-Oh deck building theory,
yeah,
he
modern
built.
theory.
I mean, look at what's happened to Edison, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like now that there are more people, more skilled people labbing it out, the format looks so much different. This is a format that I think could end up like that if people continue to play it.
Oh,
In
100%.
like 10 years, just because there's so many things. Like, so Diabell Star Rescue Ace tier lab unchanged, not very shocking. 4 Diabell Star Fire King and 4 Centurion. I don't think people were expecting Centurion to do that well at all. I think people were expecting it to maybe like 1 or 2. And Fire King being this good before Phantom Nightmare is a little bit spooky because they get so much better once we get the little tiny level 1 dude. There's somebody topped playing Vanquish Soul with the Horus engine. We're just drawing cards, I guess. I don't know what the game plan is. Two Diabell Star Makonko. I think this is like definitive proof that we probably have to respect this as like a real deck. Finals of a YCS, or it won the South American YCS, and now it's like topping every event now. Pack as the lone Noble Knight representative, top 8.
Pat
Somebody
got top
topped
8
with
at this
Marin.
event with Noble Knight.
Yes.
That's
Somebody
I did not even realize that.
somebody topped with Marincess.
Oh no. Oh no.
The deck never dies.
Top 8 was absolutely stacked, by the way. So like Joshua Schmidt, Anthony Lopez, who made the finals of YCS Leon, Victor Ivanov, who I believe is the Bulgarian national champion from this year, so no slouch. Din Kabui and Pack, who need no introduction. Gabe Netz needs no introduction. Juhu An, also no introduction, was at Worlds this year, far from on forever, and has been on like, I think has topped like almost every event he has entered.
Well, you gave him an introduction anyway.
That kid
after
is
saying he doesn't
cracked.
need one.
He's crazy.
Somebody in my chat asked if Josh was the only non-NA player on the Mount Rushmore, and oh my god, no! Like European players are like terrifying.
Yeah.
Like they're so good.
Yeah,
It's a meme that European players are not as good, but I don't really think that's true at all. They have like,
oh my god,
they have to tear their way through much bigger events too. Like most of the time their YCSs are bigger. Anybody who makes it through that gauntlet is insane. Like I feel like a YCS in NA is almost always like 11 rounds or less, and the EU ones are like 12 always.
Yeah, not only that too, but I feel like the European players, I think they play better decks on average too, because like you also have language barriers you have to play through.
Yes.
And like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like somebody in the Discord, the Necrofusion enthusiast, asked a ruling question the other day, and I was like, I need to go ask how to deal with this. They were like, if I have do I have to have a translation in the language of the country that I'm playing in, and how does that work in Europe? Because in Canada that's easy because you just have to have an English and a French translation, but because those are the two like languages that you could speak, but like, if I go to play a YCS in Italy, do I need to have like French, German? This problem is mostly solved by Neuron, so we don't have to like print out the sheets anymore or have like copies of cards. But
yeah,
it's like there's.
I think the rule was English was the common translation.
I think it was the default. I'd have to. I'll have to double check.
Because I
That's
think
insane.
like most European countries learn it as a second language. So like the thought was that everybody should at least have some English language knowledge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Although I will say, when I went to YCS London, it was crazy. I remember being with Nash on the way from the airport to the venue, and Skyhawk too. And Nash was saying this. He was like, "It's because Nash speaks like 6 languages, so for him." It was crazy because he's like, dude, he's like, just from the airport up the subway to our place, which was like a 40-minute subway ride. He was like, it's crazy. Like I've heard like 10 different languages. He's like, I just don't hear that in the United States. He's like, I've picked out Portuguese, German, Spanish, French, Arabic, Italian. Like I'm like, oh. So
Okay. So, some more specific stuff in the format that is starting to get more popular. Seeing a lot more Phantasme in the side deck, especially as SP Little Knight is getting a lot better.
this is something that was coming up a lot in the OCG specifically. Is that Phantasme was seeing a lot more play because of the rise of SP.
Well, Phantasme both stops the targeting effect of SP and lets you fix your hand when it gets summoned. So it's like a really good check to it. It's also good against like Unchained. If they play into it, so like if they make their Link monster before they make the Caesar, Phantasme is pretty good because it stops the targeting of the Link monster or the escape if you want to. And it's decent. Like almost every deck is wanting to make an SP, the Phantasme gets a lot better. You can play around it a bit with some decks, but I think for like the higher level decks, if the Rescue Ace players are doing the Terahertz line, it's not terrible against Infernoble because they're always making a sold, so you can always get that off to dig for board breakers. And it's pretty rare that like they can't rip it with Aqua Dolphin either, which matters for a big thing. So it's there. Another thing that people are starting to side is Gizmek Uka has made its way back into some side decks. If you do not remember Gizmek Uka, it's from format long past, back when Helga Fibrax was the thing we used to be hitting with it. But now we are citing Barrier Statue of the Infernos along with Barrier Statue of the Heavens.
We
So-
also words. It's late.
That
I'm
happened
tired.
to me. Yeah, like that happened to me not too long ago, and like somebody dropped a
remember now.
barrier statue on me, and I hadn't like pieced together that people were playing the Uka stuff yet. Because like I had like thought about it, I talked about it with some people, but I didn't think that like it was happening, right? And somebody summoned a barrier statue on me. I'm like, why are you playing a barrier statue in that? And I like punch over it, and then it dawns on me, I'm like, oh my god, they're playing the Gizmek Uka, like. Oh my god. And then I see it later in the game and it's like, oh my god, it makes so much sense now.
I remember what I was wanting to say. Somebody talked about Josh Schmidt being the only EU player in your chat, which you mentioned, and it made me think about South American and Central American players, and it made me think about Andres Torres also being a player that would be in consideration as being one of those Mount Rushmore type players. So, other territories definitely should be respected in that sense. So where do we see the format going from here? Because do we just see any fire deck that can play the Sinful Spoils package just being the best deck? Because that's how it feels right now. It feels almost like where we were at early last year, right after the Adventure Engine came out, where it felt like every deck, even if it was its own deck, was either also playing the Adventure Engine or a way to do Scythe Lock / DPE. And so it feels like you have all these decks, but they're all playing one of these 2 or 3 supplemental engines as well, which is frequently a thing, but now it's like really a thing, if that makes sense.
Is SP Little Knight Linkaribo an engine? The comment in the chat.
It's a great question.
Is it an engine requirement now? I mean, for Infernoble it is, I guess.
I don't think it's engine necessarily in the same way that's like, would you consider the Nightmares, playing Nightmares in your deck engine? I don't think it is. It's just a generic power staple extra deck card that we've had for years.
It's weird. So I don't know. The TCG format is going to be kind of wonky because we still don't know where stuff like Fire King and Centurion are going to land. Are people going to have to prepare more for it? People are going to be preparing a lot more for Lab now, so I think that's going to fall off. We might see more people play stuff like Bell to have Ash Bell for that matchup, especially because it's the furniture build that is good. Although the Lab players, I don't think any of them were on the Floodgate build. I think everybody has decided that furniture is the way to go now. I mean,
I don't know if that's true because I saw somebody's Twitter post. I think I think it was Pack who said that his opponent set Solemn Strike and revealed the Heavenly Lord against him, which that to me
Oh,
sounds like
that
the
would be
heavy
the
trap
flood.
build.
That would be the
Yeah.
Floodgate build for sure if we're playing that. Because Christian Arena played the maybe Dinka was playing the Floodgate one. I don't think we have his list yet because
Could be.
Christian was playing the furniture build. Juhu was playing the furniture build. So it must have been Dinka because Pac lost in top 8, right?
I think so.
I think is where he lost. Yeah, lost in top 8 to Bologna. 2-1 against Unchained Lab.
It's
there were
possible that
several
it was
Unchained
post
Lab
side though,
players.
because I think I remember
That's true.
Ryan siding that stuff in his nationals list.
Yeah.
Um,
It looks like it's like so like if I look at the top 8 list from Gabe Nets, that's got the only like non-labyrinth traps in the main deck is Karma Cannon and Imfip. But in the side deck we have the one copy of Eradicator, the one DDG, and the one Barrier. So it looks like people are like main decking their one like blowout trap card of choice and then siding the other targets for different matchups. But I think some people are maining too. Like I know there are some people maining the D Barrier and some people maining the Eradicator. But I'm curious about the Lord list though. I hope we get that because it's been so funny seeing them like weave back and forth. So I would like to activate Skill Drain actually. No, we're not doing Skill Drain. It's DDG time. I don't know. What do you think? You probably played against enough of it in Master Duel.
I don't know how to feel with Lab. I think furniture is like the more quote unquote skillful way to play it, but I think there's a time and a place for furniture. I'm not really like a labyrinth player, you know what I mean? So like I wouldn't be able to be the one to tell you which format to pick. That's more of like a Ryan Yu question.
True. True.
But
That's a good question.
but I do think it like makes sense that the trap cards are like coming back into the game because like what you were saying is everybody's playing hand traps right now and Lab just kind of doesn't care. Another thing too is that a lot of people aren't playing decks like Dragon Link, which previously was the deck that Labyrinth was like saying, okay, I beat every deck in the format except for dragons. If I choose dragons, the run's over. And because Dragon isn't very popular, I mean, we had one Dragon Link in Top Cut and then Bestial Runic. You know, they're probably just having a field day with people just like not having Bestials for them because the Bestials just destroy Labyrinth.
Yeah. Not a lot of combo, which is basically what you're saying. The only like hard combo decks we have in Top Cut are Bestial Dragon Link, Diabellstar Infernoble, and then the one Rika player that topped as well.
Well, I wouldn't even call Bestial Dragon Link a combo deck right now. I think it's like very heavy mid range with all the hits in the TCG.
Mid range. Oh, that's true. Sorry, I'm
yeah.
too busy
Well, we're still
about
Master Duel brain from the other day.
I don't know, Sunny. You've been kind of quiet for a bit. What do you think about the format? What are your
Sorry, I've been begging Trish.
Yeah, he's been begging my Twitch chat for a sub.
Subs.
I'm getting banned for
I got banned
asking
instead.
for subs in my Twitch chat.
I
subbed
using my Twitch Prime, which is free for everybody that has Twitch or that has Amazon Prime.
He is a sub now.
I used my Prime sub and immediately got banned. Like,
I didn't get a notification for it. So
the second I used my Prime sub, I got banned. So listen, as far as where the format's at, I don't know because I haven't played in 6 months. But if I were to say, I would say that it's kind of like I said earlier, where it's kind of weird seeing every deck play one of the same couple of engines. I don't know how I feel about it because I hated it with the adventure engine and I hated it with the DPE package. But at the same time, for some reason right now it doesn't feel as cringe as it did then.
I think I can tell you why that is. So part of the problem with the let's say with like Adventure Engine DPE format, right? Is that people were not doing anything like different with those engines. Like maybe you would do some cool synchros. Like your two options for the adventure stuff were like I'm normal summoning Red Rose Dragon, or I'm using it to set up a Griffin.
And
again.
at first, it
Or
wasn't
I'm,
even.
like,
They didn't have that. That took
Yeah.
4 months to come about.
And for DP, it was like I got hand trapped into Oblivion or its Scythe. With the Snake Eye engine, people can do different things with the cards. If your deck has something native that you can summon out of it, like with Rescue Ace, you're using it to actually make your Rescue Ace plays. And then if you want to, you can do the Ricardetto line to make a different board, or you can go get Jet Synchron if you want to be crazy. There's people doing stuff with Evol because they can summon Mega Trevelia from deck. The Snake Eye engine can be used generically but in different ways because you have different targets you can summon, unlike what the other cards were doing. The Horus engine is kind of the same way. You can access any of the rank 8 pool that happens to work for your deck. Maybe you want Sanafond, Hope Harbinger, Zombie Vampire if you're trying to milk cards, Giant Trainer if you want to draw a bunch of cards. The engines are in every deck, but the goal of every deck with those engines is very different, and that wasn't the case with the other two. Is my take on it anyway. Maybe that's why I think people are going to get real sick of the Bellstar engine come Phantom Nightmare, but right now we're in a cool spot.
I think that the
it's
reason that people haven't gotten sick of it yet, but will, is because while it is very expensive at the moment, it hasn't. It hasn't felt like it's okay. This shouldn't be this expensive anymore. Like it still feels new enough where it deserves to be expensive. If that makes sense.
I'm
I know.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I
you're a
agree with
Yu-Gi-Oh card communist. I get it, but
I just,
All cards
You
should
got
be
me.
free. Play Yu-Gi-Oh Master
you,
Duel.
you got me.
yeah,
True and real.
yeah.
I mean,
So
listen, you just make more accounts. You just make more.
Hey, don't tell them the secret.
Shut
But
up,
if you
bro.
do want to
Shut
know the
up.
secrets, I have a full guide on how to speedrun the game so that you can create any account you want in less than 35 minutes. So let you know. Just
TTV on YouTube.
join the Discord. There's a whole guide.
So, with that said, I think that it doesn't feel outrageous yet, but come reprint season next year, it's been six plus months. Deck, the package is still in every deck. It hasn't been hit yet. It hasn't been reprinted yet. That's when people are gonna be like, "Yeah, this sucks. We hate this." I think once you get to that 6-month mark without any changes, and things start getting stale, is when people are going to start hating it. But for now, we're still in the cool stage.
Yeah, it's funny. Normally, I'm like, "Where's the ban list?" But I think we can wait another month. I don't think we need one. I would love, as always.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been
for
2
some of the
months. We don't
crappy
need
auto
one
wins
right
to go.
now.
I would love, as always, for the crappy auto wins to be gone from the format. There are a couple of things that I would like to be hit, but Trish, you move close to the mic. What do you have to say about the ban list?
I hate this format. This format allows runic cards to be stronger than they ought to be. I have lost to runic on the bubble at 3 YCSs this year. Please stop making formats where runic cards can find success. Thank you, Konami.
At least we have this going.
Please
for
bring
us,
back
right?
all the Ishizu cards. Thank you.
It was the only runic deck to top. Took it all the way. And I mean, to be fair, Joshua Schmidt is the GOAT. But I was actually going to bring up the two things that.
Well, did you see runic sweep the Seattle regional? There was like 3 runic decks in top 8. Like it got first place and like 2 more of them topped. And it was all runic stun.
I did see that. They got first and third. It was the Chicago regional, right?
No, I'm talking about Seattle. Did that happen in Chicago too?
There was another region. I might be talking about the same regional, but they got first and third. It was runic stun. They were playing like 2 Amano Iwado, and then 2 of the Time Tearing Morganite. They were playing Messenger of Peace instead of Scrubbed Raid.
I think that was Seattle. But runic has actually like, if you go and you look through a lot of top cuts, runic has been destroying like the regional circuit. Yeah, like the regional circuit is getting completely swept by it. Like and like at Richmond, I got knocked out by runic. Like, and I had a torrential tribute flipped on me. And like in any other format, like you play against Runic and they're flipping Torrential Tribute, it's like, okay, it's round 3. Like, I'm knocking you out early and like getting lunch. But when that starts happening to you at like round 9 of a YCS, something is clearly going wrong with the format when like Torrential Tribute Runic is doing well.
Yeah, so I guess my last comment on the YCS results too is it's kind of weird to not see much Runic, seeing as it's like very successful at the regional level, but like that could just be an NA EU meta difference. Because I feel
Could
like I'm looking at a lot of NA regionals, right? So no Sprite, it's gone. It's gone. We probably don't have to hit blue. I believe 2 of the Pearly lists were playing a Sprite engine, but okay. And then what do we? Centurion is the X Factor thing that's here. I think is because Centurion.
Right.
I thought Centurion was going to be like Dark World, where you could always you could always like open a hand that does the thing. You play it like Zodiac, but you just get shut down by so many different cards that it's hard to succeed with it. But the Calamity Lock, 4 out of 64 people were able to Calamity Lock enough turns to make it to top 64.
Does the
So
deck
I'm
do
curious
something other than Calamity Lock? Did we miss something here? Are they doing something else?
so they're playing it like Zodiac instead of like a hard combo deck. They're playing it like, this is my 1 card starter. I'm setting up the Calamity Lock. If I don't set up the Calamity Lock, or if I have an extender, then I can do like Crimson Dragon tag out shenanigans to end on. What they're doing is they're doing Blazar Dragon, and then their Blazar for like a spell trap negate, and then bringing back the Crimson Dragon quick synchro to tag it back out into the Calamity. I think is how it's working right now, which is funny that Blazar is seeing play, but the rest of it is just non-engine. It's just non-engine. It's hand traps. It's Fenrir. It's anything. It's Baylor, Imperm, Ash, Nib.
So what are the issues? What do we need? What needs hitting on the ban list? I know you mentioned Sprite's probably fine. Are we done with Runic? It's gotten a reprint now. Are we like, do we
do limit fountain? What do you want, Trish?
Can we please ban Runic Fountain?
Ban it? No, absolutely not. Runic is fun. No.
Please just no.
Runic is
Please
cool
just
and
kill
fun.
that
No.
deck.
Nope,
Please,
Runic
no.
is cool and fun. It can
No,
stay.
please,
Okay.
please,
Hey,
please,
Sonny,
no more.
This is the podcast
No
where
more.
everybody's getting their wish list. Okay.
Please,
So,
Sure,
no more.
sure. His is
Ban
wrong,
Runic.
but
Please,
sure.
no more.
Okay.
Please no more. You know what, Sonny? I'll give that to you. Just ban Munin. Just ban Munin. It's
Ban
fine.
Munin.
Just ban.
Just
Yeah,
ban the
ban
time
Munin.
card. I agree with that. I'm on board. We should ban Scattershot too, actually.
If
and
I get
Catplay.
Munin one more time.
We should ban the time rules.
True.
True. True. Top cut should go back to old time rules.
Actually,
Top
cut
cut
going
doing
back
it
to
would
that,
be fine with me. Yeah.
Top cut doing it, I think would be fine.
Yeah.
I think Swiss, we have to do the compromise thing. But
Yeah,
Top
just 3 turns of time, not 5. Just make it 3 turns of time, not 5, and then only for top cut. And
Why don't we
only
do
for
it
top
only in top 32? Not even top 64, just top 32.
Maybe that depends
who
on
cares?
the size.
cares?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Why don't we
I
just bring
think-
back draft top cut? Why don't we do that? Reward good deck building.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
all right. You're taking it too far.
I think
Okay,
it's time
I
to end
get
the
it.
episode. That's too much.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's too
Trish has taken it back. Fountain to 0.
Can we say Crimson Dragon banned? Is that too much?
That's too much.
No, I think just ban Calamity. None of the other Crimson Dragon cards are a problem.
It's
I think
just
Calamity's the
Calamity?
only one that's an issue. It's just High King Calamity. So
Yeah, makes sense.
I think ban High King Calamity, ban Dimension Shifter, ban Dimensional Barrier. I do not care about anything else.
Time Warp on a 4K,
Did you say
4K
ban
body.
Dimensional Barrier?
Yeah, I want.
Yeah, that card
D-Barrier
should be
banned.
gone. That card should have been gone for years.
It's like right now.
If we
it's
don't
not
have
a
Red
problem.
Reboot, D-Barrier should be banned.
Yeah, I think.
I know you guys are not losing to D-Barrier.
I also
There's
want,
no answer. It doesn't exist. We
So
don't
I
have
also
call
want-
bot.
The answer is don't lose to it.
I think the other card that I want banned is Harpy's Featherstorm for a similar reason. Like,
True.
Deep Barrier right now is not debilitating. Harpy's Featherstorm is only playable in like one deck. My issue is that there's not reasonable counterplay present for those cards. The counterplay that you can play for D Barrier is draw a better hand, Bozo. And then for Featherstorm, the only counterplay that exists is Siphon Gear Delta, which is insane cope, and Crossout Designator, which is now asking you to side individual targets similar to how you would Thrust. And I think
Yes.
that's really silly.
Yes.
So it's less that the cards are like extremely powerful now, although I would argue there are formats where D-Barrier was pretty debilitating. A Sword Soul branded format, D-Barrier was just like, you lose if you were playing one of the top 2 decks. But like Eradicator, I would, in an ideal world, I would like to see it banned. I don't think it's a huge problem right now. It can stay. Shifter and Barrier are the 2 that I think we should just like axe completely from
I
the
think
game.
much like Mystic Mind, the game would be invariably better without those cards in it.
Yeah, I think the continuous trap floodgates I go back and forth on because on one hand they suck to play against and to prep against, but there's at least way more counterplay to those in the form of back removal or being able to use your extra deck to play under attributes like with something like Nightmare Phoenix and SP now, or playing out of your graveyard instead with stuff like Skill Drain. So those can stay, but just the normal trap card lingering shifter. That's it.
My moderator makes a wonderful point. Mr. D-Link Bestial says don't lose to it. The cards that D-Link doesn't get hit by. Okay.
Hey, they can call
Link
synchro.
monsters. Make Link monsters.
That's the errata D-Barrier to also hit Link monsters. That's what we do.
Sonny, I think
down.
that's a good
Keep
place
it at 3.
to,
errata.
No, wait, I have one more thing.
okay. Last thing, and then we're reading pictures.
Okay, I have one more thing because we still have 10 more minutes left on the podcast because we didn't start at the start of the recording.
I don't agree with that.
We started at 10:22. It's 11:11.
Okay. Talk your talk.
Okay, so I forgot what I was gonna say. So we're gonna go ahead and end it there, I guess.
One more thing.
Well, there
We're
was a
ending the
thing I wanted to
podcast.
mention,
Bye.
and I forgot what it was because Skyhawk cut me off.
All right, my apologies. We did actually get
All
one new
Skyhawk's
card.
fault.
We did actually get one new card if we want to talk about
Yeah, talk about it while I try to remember what I was thinking.
it. Okay. So we got one new card. I don't know that it's that good, but it's part of the full armored package, and it is interesting. So this is a full armored Hope Ray Lancer, or because according to Kevin Tewart, Hope is a girl's name. In the TCG, it might be full armored Utopic Ray Lancer.
Keep in mind the original YG.org page for this was wrong. They did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they put out an
Edited it.
update on Twitter. I don't know if you saw that.
Okay. I did not. Did they fix it?
I don't know.
Can the
Okay.
funny dragon not be a girl?
No, Hope is a girl's name. So it had to be
Must
number
have
39
manifest.
Utopia, not number 39 Hope.
Yeah, that was. Are you unaware of the Kevin Tewart
Hope
reasons
rant?
why Hope changed it to be Utopia?
No.
You don't know about this? Okay.
No,
gotta
I don't
look
know
it up
about
for you.
this.
This
He
is
doesn't
incredible.
know.
So
No,
Kevin
I have
Tewart.
no idea.
So Kevin Tewart.
This is
back
more
in the
important
day,
than that
You
card,
might
I'm
know
gonna be
this
honest.
part. Kevin Tewart used to post on Poho,
Pojo.
all the time. Is it Pojo?
Did you just call it Poho?
It's Pojo.
Yeah, I always called it Poho. Is it Pojo?
Me
It's
and Sunny
Pojo.
on the same
No,
page
I'm
for
gonna-
once on the
well, yeah.
podcast. Somebody clip
Okay.
this.
All right.
Clip it,
okay.
clip it, clip it.
Pojo, because I'm a Zoomer and I don't know how to pronounce old Yu-Gi-Oh things because you're both old.
Old.
Okay. So Kevin Tewart used to post all the time on Pojo. It's been ages, and my keyboard has stopped working at exactly this time. Awesome. But the two most famous posts from Kevin Tewart, I believe, are Clown Gas and the reason for Hope's translation. So he listed,
Both real
Kevin
things.
Tewart listed like 8 reasons why they switched from Hope to Utopia. The two best ones are, one, Hope is a girl's name with
Oh, no.
zero clarification, and 2,
Oh no.
Hope is a politically charged slogan that we saw in 2008 that could make a return in 2012, and we do not want our cards associated with politics. So they changed it to Utopia. Everybody just roasted him for it. My keyboard is not working, so I can't find the full list. For some reason, it's just not typing. But the other one is oh, there we go. No, we're back. Kevin Tewart Clown Gas.
Clown gas.
Clown Gas. This is incredible. There we go. So
The Yu-Gi-Oh lore runs so deep.
I'm gonna open this image. Open image in your tab.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay, so Kevin Tewart. I'll send a link.
Wait.
So that you can see this.
Kevin Tewart has a
Who
Twitter.
is Kevin Tewart?
He has a Twitter.
Okay.
By the way?
So Kevin Tuert
He has a
is
Twitter
a
at Kevin
lead.
Tuert, working
He's
on a
he-
crazy new anti-special summoning card. Our current version is pretty damn amazing. August 25th
that
of
this was
2009.
Is
yeah
this-
that was this is he's in Konami R&D. He's
Ah.
like one of the head guys. And he was still is, but is much less public now, probably for reasons like this. So
I see.
somebody asked, like, hey, I bought a box and I didn't get what I wanted. I spent a lot of money on this box. Why are singles prices so expensive? Like it's like, but I can't get what I want when I buy the box. So Kevin Tuert came in and said, this kind of nonsense is why so many of you are complaining about the price of cards. The best way to get cards in a TCG is to buy packs or boxes. But a bunch of people cry and moan and say, no, the best way to do it is to buy singles from people who buy boxes. Okay, then answer me this. If buying boxes is such a losing proposition, why do you think so many people are opening boxes and packs and selling you the cards? You think the people doing that are just massive idiots? Somebody's a massive idiot, but I don't think it's the person getting rich off of you. Stop being a victim, people. So somebody responded with, okay, well, maybe I'm just unlucky. And Kevin Tuert was like, I will give you a metaphor. Singles prices are high because some people have deliberately shut themselves off from the primary method of getting cards. Imagine I have a gas station and all of my gas pumps have clown designs all over them, and I charge $20 a gallon for gas. Meanwhile, the regular gas station down the street is charging regular prices. But I've convinced a bunch of people that buying my clown gas is the only way to go. So they refuse to buy gas the regular way. Then they come to Pojo and ask why clown gas is so expensive.
This is the
Konami R&D
Why
rep.
is he
This is
less
the
public?
head
This
of
is like,
Konami R&D.
This is the best advertisement for wanting to work at Konami I've ever heard.
This
I'm
is the
sitting here in
lead
application
R&D
tomorrow.
for Konami NA.
Oh
If
my
you're
God,
unwilling
he's so
to
based. I
utilize-
want to be him.
If you're unwilling to utilize the standard and less expensive method of getting cards, the same method that is being used by the people selling you singles to get their cards, then you're a captive market. And a captive market will be charged whatever price the captor wishes until they realize the folly of their captivity.
I'm
End
buying a
post.
case right now.
So this is where I asked Kevin Tuert to explain the prices of Substitute because I cannot mass buy packs of ancient sets to get Edison
Oh.
cards.
All right, are we calling it there after?
Yeah.
explaining
Whatever I was going to say about the ban list isn't relevant anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and thank all of our wonderful patrons. So, of course, a huge thank you to Always
Hold
Second.
on, let me brace myself.
Yeah, brace yourself.
I'm braced.
Okay. Always Second, Time Wizard, Zyphorus, at the One Pelog. There, that name still doesn't make sense to me. Big Stinky, Ding Dong's hostess of the Yang Zing. Give me some more Dragussi, Konami.
Let's go.
HGH Cyber, John Leal, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Pistol Play Pendulums, Silver Hope, Skyhawk over the Beatles. This was a big debate we had. Who's better, Shinedown or the Beatles? The answer is
I explained
the
this.
Beatles, but everyone else
explained
says
this to-
Shinedown. So,
I explained this to Trish last week, and the answer now actually is Skyhawk.
Oh, fair enough. Understanding and reading are two different things.
You missed another moment where I was on your side. I also said the Beatles.
Let's go! Virtually Savior's World, Visa, Star Frosting, D's Nuts, Wind Up Carriers, Infidel Maity, Aaron Gardner, Alexander Chan, Asami, Ashlish Chaps, Atsuyo, Simpa the Silver Castle, Blackwing Silverone the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Blue Eyes is best, Copium, Boxwind, Chubby Ninja, Come On and Get Your Game On, Dragon Maidenless Behavior, Ice Jade will win a YCS before Swoo Swoo. Still disagree with this. I'm about to Rika Glamour tribute for
Hard agree,
Frosties
hard
Plant
agree.
Nuts in Your Mouth. It's level 4 Fire Warrior Gaming, Little Stinky, Llama Yama Cam Sarama, Maxi Pack, Old Man Red, Pin Code 143, and Sinful Spoils. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast. And if you want the best content possible for all of August and September of 2009, be sure to follow at Kevin Tuert on Twitter. That account is still up, posting about special summoning in 2009. So thank you all so much for your continuous support of the podcast. And of course, until next time, have a great week, everybody.
I have a card pun for y'all, but it's not good.
They
What would you
never are.
call? What would you? That's true. What would you call a reality TV show set in like the Yu-Gi-Oh lore?
A reality TV show
Good.
set in the Yu-Gi-Oh lore.
There's got to be a way to like make this 90-day fiance.
You
Total
could,
Fire King Island drama something.
That's pretty good for improv. But I had World Legacy Survivor.
I like Total Drama Fire King
Bye,
Island.
everybody.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Nice.
I'm ending
All right.
stream. So
I
have a
am
good
off
night,
to
everybody.
the-
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.